Hey guys, it's Michelle with Florida Keys Birding, and today we're talking about how to get ready for spring migration. Spring migration is just around the corner, just 2 short weeks away. So spring migration 2023, we should be gearing up now and getting ready to go. So here are a few tips for you guys to get ready and make sure you are ready to go when the time comes, when the birds start heading your way. So the first one is to make sure you've got your cameras, lenses, binoculars, whatever you do, whatever you use, in tip-top shape, working condition. Make sure you've got, if you're planning to get a new lens this year, if you're looking for a lens that's a little bit closer, like a teleconverter or a long lens or a different camera, or if you're upgrading or something like that, now's the time to do that. So hopefully everybody has all their stuff ready to go, no matter what they need. So the other thing that goes along with that is backup SD cards. I can't tell you how many times that I've been in the middle of migration and things are really, really good, and I'm getting a ton of pictures, and we just got like a burst of warblers that day, and then suddenly memory card is full. How many people has that happened to before? Probably quite a few. It happens to me. It's happened to me quite a few times. So you got to make sure that you have your backup SD card ready to go in case you run out of film. Well, we don't use film anymore, but in case you run out of space in your camera. Okay, so the next one is anti-strike window decals. I think I put anti-window strike. Okay, anti-window strike decals. Yeah, it still makes sense. Okay, so to protect birds from window strikes. I actually did get a couple of window strikes last year in my bedroom window. It's happened a few times and I did not have the decals. It's probably because I have my feeder area right in front of my window, just, so that I can see the birds out of my window and stuff like that. It's my favorite thing to do. But I did end up getting these. The one on the screen with the little hummingbirds and stuff here. I did put some of these on, and I'm hoping that this is helpful for this year. So far I haven't had any window strikes from my regular birds, because it's happened to me with my regular birds too. So it's something I had been meaning to get, and it's something that is good to have during migration in your windows, just in case, and especially if you live in a high-rise, a condo, something that's high up, so that the birds don't see your window and just want to go right through it, and then they have a window strike, and then some of them die, some of them get injured, some of them are just stunned and then fly away. But you just don't know, and it's always great to protect birds when there's lots of them moving through your area. So you can get them on Amazon, you can get them anywhere, online, whatever. You can find these pretty much anywhere, any kind that you might like. You can find the clear ones like this, or you can find a different kind, whatever you like, pretty much, that'll give them some alert that this is not an area to fly through. So it protects the birds. So going into that is learning about the Lights Out initiative. So maybe putting a timer on your outdoor lights so that they're not on all night long or during peak migration times. So what happens is that the birds are light sensitive and they get attracted to the light, and then it throws them off course from their migration pattern, and it can be distracting, confusing for them, so it's not good for them. It can throw them off of wherever they're supposed to be going. It can confuse them, depending. So if you want to know a little bit more about the Lights Out initiative, you can see the link right here that I haven't read, the birdcast.info/science-to-action/lights-out, and you can watch the video that they have on Birdcast to get a little bit more information about that and to get a little bit more details if it's something that you want to know about a little bit more, or maybe you don't really understand it, or you're not really sure how it works. But some of the things that they recommend is to monitor Birdcast for high migration days, monitor Birdcast for migration alerts in your area, and also watch for cold fronts that are heading south as birds are heading north. They're going to be heading north now in the spring. So this is something that you want to pay attention to. So make sure you're turning off your lights at night during migration, floodlights, all those kind of things, outdoor string lights, or you're putting them on a timer so that they, so that they're not on all night long. So the next one is make a list of the birds that you want to find this year. So kind of have it in mind of what birds that you're looking for. I know for me, there's certain birds that I really like to get pictures of and that I really like to see each year during migration, and I kind of look forward to seeing them. I have certain areas that I know that I need to go to find those certain birds, so I kind of have an idea of what I'm looking for. And if there's certain lifer birds that you're hoping to see this year, do a little bit of research and kind of know what the habitat is, kind of know where you're going, instead of just kind of, okay, I'm gonna go walk around somewhere and I don't have a plan, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, sure, you can do that, and you will find birds, but I can tell you that when you know what kind of trees they like, what kind of food they like to eat, all those kind of things, it's really, really helpful when you're looking for birds. And I can tell you that by doing this, by researching habitats and food sources, you'll waste a lot less time because, in this day and age, we don't have a lot of time always. We don't always have a ton of time to go birding. Sometimes we're just getting out in the morning quickly before work or after work before the sun sets, or maybe, you have a limited time to go to a park and look for some birds. So it really does help having a plan, knowing the habitat, knowing the food source, knowing where to find those birds that you're wanting to find. So, and if you're not sure, feel free to reach out to me and I can help you if there's a certain bird that you're looking for, especially in Florida and South Florida. I can tell you where to find them. Up north, not as much. I can't say that I'll be able to necessarily know for sure with those because I don't have the experience living up there, but down south and in Florida, I can tell you, especially here, I can tell you exactly where to find them. So the next one is I would recommend to download Ebird and the Merlin app. So if you're a phone app computer person, these are definitely recommended. Ebird, number one, because you can go ahead and start birding and you can click start and it will go ahead and track your location. It will, track where you went, and then you can just put the birds into your phone that you're finding to track what you found. And then it also helps the scientists to know which birds are in that area. It's helpful in their conservation efforts and stuff like that to put your findings in Ebird. So that's really good. It's something you can do, and it'll help you keep track every year too, knowing what birds you found when. This is something that I've been doing for the past years, and it's really helped me figure out where to find birds and when I can expect those birds. And like, hey, last year I found them in this area, in this tree, right around this time of year. So next year I make sure I check right around that time. I start looking in that same area because a lot of them come back to the same place every year. So Ebird is good in tracking your findings, and then of course helping with conservation. And then Merlin is a great app because you can open up your Merlin app and let's say you're out birding and you can do the sound feature on the Merlin app, and it will pick up all the birds that are making sounds in the area and it'll identify them. Now it's not 100%, but it's pretty spot on most of the time. So I will tell you that this was really good. I started using this in fall migration last year, and it was great because I could see what birds it was picking up, so it kind of helped me to find them and then to kind of know what was in the area. That app for the sound part of the app, that helped me finding northern water thrushes. The water thrushes that were here last year, it definitely helped me find them, and it helped me figure out where they were, because sometimes you're hearing lots of birds and you just don't know what's what. And it will also help you learn the calls so you can recognize the calls so you can find birds better. They will also help you with picture ID. So you take a photo, you're not sure what the bird is, you can put the photo in and it will come up with some possible identification of what that bird is. So it's really, really good. It's a great app. I definitely recommend the Merlin app. So you're going to want to do that. You can kind of see here in some of the pictures what it does. So here is like whenever you can put in the photo ID and it can kind of help you identify it. And here's here's what it looks like whenever you're doing like the calls and stuff like that. It shows you what birds are likely to be found in your area, stuff like that. So it's like really, really good. And then of course you can look for birds and you can hear their calls inside the app here. So yeah, I mean, it's really, really good. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Merlin and Ebird. If you haven't already downloaded it, go ahead and get it before spring migration starts and get all your stuff ready. Download your bird packs and you're ready to go. Okay, so the next one is getting your feeders and bird baths ready. So making sure, one, that your bird baths are nice and clean, sanitize them however you do, and then, along with figuring out what types of birds you're wanting to see this year, figuring out what kind of birds you're trying to attract during migration. So you got to find out what seeds they eat, if they eat seeds, if they eat fruit, if they eat bugs. You're going to want to figure out, how to get those birds into your yard. We'll talk a little bit about that on the very next one. I'm not going to give it away yet, but yeah, you're going to want to find out, and then of course making sure that your feeders are nice and clean, whatever you use to feed birds. If you do that, make sure that's all stocked up. Make sure you have what you need, the type of feed that you need, whether it's, some things I can recommend if you're trying to attract buntings, for example, painted buntings, indigo buntings, grosbeaks, those kind of birds. I bought the finch mix from Walmart.com, and that so far has attracted painted buntings all winter long. So I have a tube feeder that's specifically for the buntings that I use, just that finch mix, so it doesn't get wasted by the other by the other birds. Because of course you got your doves, you've got your blackbirds and crows, and then you've got your jays and cardinals, and they'll come and do all that. So you've got that, and then your cardinals, those are always here, but your woodpeckers and stuff, you're going to want to put some suet out for them, or some sunflower seeds, like black oil sunflower seeds. They really like that. And then something I've been doing recently that seems to be a hit with the not only the woodpeckers but the gray catbirds and some warblers is raisins. So I've been ordering big packs of raisins from Sam's Club, and I've been putting them out each morning, and they come and they get the raisins. So that's also going to attract other fruit eating birds. So these are just a couple of things that you can do and make sure you're all stocked up and ready to go for spring migration. So the very last one is getting your yard ready with native plants. So for South Florida, some natives that I would recommend are the Jamaica dogwood. That's a tree that lots and lots of warblers love down here. Like I said, if you live in South Florida, this is helpful to you. If you don't live in South Florida, these trees will not necessarily do well in another place. They can maybe do well, some of them in Central Florida, maybe even some in Central to North, but most of these are for warmer climates. So Jamaica dogwood is a hit with warblers. Mulberry tree, it makes little mulberries and stuff like that. That's good for any fruit eating bird. I believe mulberry can grow in other parts of the US, so that one, it will probably be okay. Or other berry producing trees or shrubs, in general. Strangler fig, that is the biggest one. That's my biggest recommendation. That one is a hit down here with all types of birds, pretty much any type of bird, I would say. West Indian mahogany, good with woodpeckers, and the other one is black and white warblers. I see those a lot. Firebush is great for hummingbirds. They're really good for hummingbirds, and some birds like the little berries that they produce. Gumbo limbo, great for warblers and quite a few other types of birds because they produce berries and stuff like that. Woodpeckers like it too, cardinals like it too. Lots of different birds actually like gumbo limbo. I even find cuckoos, like mangrove cuckoos, yellow-billed cuckoos, and gumbo limbos and stuff like that. Another one is wild coffee. A lot of different birds really like wild coffee. Avocado tree, wherever you can grow avocados. They attract a lot of different insects that birds like, so avocado is popular. Beautyberry, it makes a really nice berry and it's supposed to ward off mosquitoes, so that's another really good one. You know, I know black-throated blue warblers really like the beautyberry. And Simpson stopper, that's a hit with catbirds, different types of warblers. Cape May warbler, I've seen Cape May warblers eating the Simpson stopper. Jatropha is really great for hummingbirds, and I've actually seen warblers in Jatropha before and cardinals, so I don't know if they have little seeds in the flowers or something like that, but they seem to really like it. And then Geiger tree for hummingbirds, and they really like, that's actually what the picture is behind here. That's the flowers of the Geiger tree. So the hummingbirds, they really enjoy it. They really enjoy the Geiger tree whenever it's blooming, and it blooms most of the time. So so this one's really good. So yeah, making a bird yard, you know, making a bird-friendly yard with lots of different plants, lots of different natives, you know, wherever you live, and lots of different, you know, hummingbird plants, pollinator plants, stuff like that, you know, host plants for butterflies, lots of different native trees, fruit trees, you know, all that kind of stuff is going to be popular for birds. When I moved in here into this place, there were really no birds in my yard like that, and now that I've pretty much planted raised beds around the entire perimeter of my yard, and I'm starting to grow lots of trees and pollinator plants, I've got birds in my yard all the time. So so it really does work. It really does work, kind of making it a little nice little haven for them. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I hope this helps you with getting prepared and getting ready for spring migration. Sorry I'm losing my voice. My allergies are always doing bad. But I hope you guys learned a little something and you guys are ready in the next couple of weeks for spring migration 2023. All right, thanks guys. I will let you know what I find this year, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks. Bye.